Hello everybody, Max from Woodsman's Finest here. Welcome to an episode from Sweden actually. Look at this, isn't this absolutely stunning? I'm so euphoric right now because I lived in Ontario for quite a while, and because of the situation of the last few years I haven't been able to go back there, and this is absolutely my favorite kind of place. It's the boreal forest. I mean, look at the scenery. I'm the only person on this lake. The fire is crackling over here. I got my bino harness on because this is actually a very high density area for moose and for wolves. So just during the video, in case I see something, don't want to lose any time finding my binos. Just be able to rip them right out. I found this to be a really good location to actually do a second video in my series about my boots that I'm wearing and that I'm recommending. Now, in the first video in the series, I was actually talking about the fact that I have very wide feet because of a whole life of just walking barefoot. I'm a stocky guy, so that kind of is already the first part. And then I spent a whole lifetime pretty much training barefoot on the mats and with a sword and so on and so forth, which is actually the reason why I'm up here in Sweden, because I teach a seminar in Japanese swordsmanship every year in southern Sweden. And so I came back up to Stockholm to do 2 spoon carving advanced classes in Stockholm, which was an absolute honor and a really big pleasure for me. I'm really humbled. So because of that, I have really wide feet, and I always had the problem that I'm really making compromises when it comes to boots throughout my whole life. Like I talked about in the first video, just buying them, either like just suffering through it, ruining my feet, or just buying them too big. As I've said in the first video, the older you get, the more you realize that the few things that really make a difference in your life, especially in the outdoors, is sleep, nutrition, and how you take care of your feet. In your daily life, that's one thing, but out here, that's just really getting a nuisance if you're having any kind of issues, especially with these 3 things. So after I got the Dovre, which is really the little, like more nimble, very light kind of hiking boot for me that I would really do a lot of trekking and hiking with. It's absolutely perfect for the part of the Alps where I'm from because of the gravel, the high gravel guard, the rubber rand around it. And so I wanted to get right away a second kind of boot because I realized that Meindl is really the answer for me. Not only do I have a Bavarian father, and Meindl is just always, something that you have to consider when you're from Bavaria, because they have over 350-year history, and it's just really this quality stamp for Bavarian hiking, hunting, and trekking boots. But also, when you find a boot company, like I finally found it in Meindl, and this is just something for me personally, right? This is a personal opinion, a personal experience. Then I find it. There comes the smoke. Everything is a little bit damp up here. Then you just want to kind of stick with it, because it is difficult to find something that kind of fits your feet. So after I found the Dovre, and it's really made a difference for me in my daily life, in the workshop, hiking, taking it to the 3D course every single day, I wanted to get something from the same brand with the same foot shape or the same last shape, but maybe a little bit different. So I called Meindl up. Joseph, who is the guy there to talk to on social media and everything, and he recommended to me to get the Guffert. It's called the Guffert MFS, which stands for Memory Foam System, which is great because it really adapts to your feet, and it's also part of the Comfort line. I don't really know what all of this means, but he just said it would fit me very similarly if I like the Dovre Wide, the Dovre Pro Wide very much. So I got it, and as you can see here in the video, in the B-roll, one major difference for me is, apart from the sole being completely the same as the Dovre, so it's very much your trekking type of hiking boot, definitely not like high alpine or like high mountaineering, but it does everything for me up to 2,500 meters or similar. There comes the smoke again. It's just something I have to deal with, I guess. Apart from that, the rubber end is a lot lower or smaller or more narrow, if you will. It is slightly higher, which makes it a little bit more heavy, and it's also more cushioned, so it has a little bit more insulation. So while the Dovre is really this boot that I'm taking on a summer day, it is altogether a lot more compact. It's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit stiffer because of the high rubber end. And this is really what I take for my trekking, my hiking, my long distance walking. Whenever it gets a little bit colder outside, let's talk shoulder seasons. Let's talk a little bit more damp environments, humid environments. The Guffert, the Guffert is just offering a little bit more insulation. It is more cushioned. It is a little bit more bulky altogether. But this is why I call it the absolute best woodland boot that I've ever come across. Now here in Sweden, in this environment, but also in my home area in Austria, where we have an off-grid cabin in the more remote parts of northern Austria, everything is just really damp. It's a lot moss, it's a lot of just mud and very uneven terrain. So you still want to have something that protects your ankles, especially in my case, because my knees were destroyed in American football and grappling, and the tendons in my feet are mostly gone on both sides from skating and things like that. So I really need something in these environments, especially being far away from health actually, by myself. I really want to make sure that these small injuries that kind of maim you to a certain degree, cripple you out here, like your knees, your ankles, are taken care of. And the Guffert definitely does that, because as far as the leather goes, I mean, I'm a layman when it comes to that. I'm not gonna, I didn't look up any specs on the website and just gonna read down the spec sheet for you, because that's really not what I'm trying to do. I've had these boots for 1 year. They just held up perfectly. The Gore-Tex membrane has never given me any problems, although I've sometimes worn them several days not having any opportunity to dry them out on the outside. And now after a year that I've actually used Meindl's proprietary impregnating spray, which is maybe something a little bit along the lines of like Nick Wax or so, and then oil them with some, or like wax them rather, with some Obenhoff LP, which is a really good product from the US. I absolutely love how they feel. It almost feels like they got a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more softer in a good way. They had a little bit of a squeak to them before, not out of the box, but after about 6-7 months of me just not taking care of them getting wet and drying and wet and drying. Whenever I was stalking actually in the woods, I would just hear a slight squeak, which is absolutely gone now with the first impregnation and the oiling, or waxing rather. Oil is not something you really want to put on your Gore-Tex membrane because it has a tendency to destroy it. Other than that, there's not much for me to say. This is like a 1 year review, a 1 year check-in for these boots. I'm wearing them right now, and I'm just putting as much B-roll in here as possible. What can I say? They're high enough, they're absolutely warm. I love them as a woodland boot because of the height, because of the insulation, because of the waterproof Gore-Tex membrane. I like that they have a rubber end. I really stay away from boots in general that do not have some type of rubber end, because I do live in the mountains or close to the mountains, and I walk different types of 3D archery courses, just in general, hiking, hunting, whatever it is. I do this every single day. I've worn these boots for blacksmithing up here. I forged a few knives yesterday with a friend of mine. They were with me. I use them in the wood shop when I'm just doing my regular work, which is some axing, carving, this and that. I never have to worry about them. Their surface is really tough. They wear beautiful. They really adjust to my feet well. They're wide enough. I don't have any problem with my pinky toes. I don't get any issues with my feet numbing. This is really all I can say about them. I was recently thinking about what I would change about them if I had the possibility, and nothing really came up. I like the leather. It is obviously different from the Dovre Pro, and I like the Dovre Pro leather as it is from a different source, as I understand. I like it a little bit more. Here comes the smoke. Da, 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 da. I need to take care of the fire, folks. I like the Dovre leather a little bit more, but then after the first waxing, this leather here becomes so much nicer, darker, just slick, and it's really, really absolutely nice now. So there's really nothing I would change. It's really about what the reason is, why you get a boot. It's all about, for me, in gear in general, no matter if it's my own tool line or the tools from other people I use, the gear I use, my Patagonia stuff, the pants I wear, whatever it is out here. I'm just really thinking, why would I get one thing over another? And so with the combination of these boots, now that I know what boot shape or last is really the perfect one for me, these are just two very similar boots that at the same time do a very different job for me. And if I have a choice, I would use them for different applications. And this is what I'm doing now, and I couldn't be happier with them. So if you're searching for a woodland boot that really is nicely insulated, a little bit cushioned, that is nice and wide, has a memory foam system, you can hike with, you can use in the woods, in wet environments, for canoeing, hunting, sitting up in a tree stand for a while, whatever it is, I really recommend the Guffert MFS because I've used it personally for all of these applications, and I've been very, very happy. And that's also the feedback that I'm getting from friends of mine who are nature filmmakers, who are outfitters, who do hunting, hiking, all of this kind of more harsh environment activities where you really need to be set up for the job, and there's not necessarily help close by. So shout out to Meindl, because they always have the choice to make their production cheaper by moving it overseas or something, and they still produce these in Germany, in my home Bavaria. They constantly are in talks with customers. They have their lines that have been with them for a long time because it's just really work. And talking to them, you really understand that the quality of these products, the way they're made, is something that is absolutely crucial, and no profit margin or whatever it is will get in the way of having him produced like this. And I think this is something that is really rare in this day and age. And so yeah, I'm proud to have these, and I don't think I'm gonna change anytime soon. Okay, thank you very much for watching, folks. I'm just enjoying this really much right now, and I just wanted to bring you a little bit of an impression of this absolutely beautiful area here in central Sweden. I'm flabbergasted, and I'm looking forward to hearing the first couple loons hopefully tonight, and maybe a wolf howl. That would be absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna settle by the fire now, maybe open a beer, and gonna just let all of this sink in here, because it's been a while that I've been to this type of wilderness, and it's absolutely stunning. It's a little bit, the light's getting a little bit dim, so I apologize for that, but I still hope you enjoyed the video. And if you want to find all of my other content, I have an Instagram channel, a Facebook channel, and of course there's a long list of videos here on YouTube. So please check me out, browse all of that. Please like this video and subscribe. It's helping me out to bring more of this to you guys and keep the camera running, even when there's other things to do out there. That's a woodpecker. Find all of my spoon carving, sharpening, and decoration courses on Boon TV, down in the link below. And find my entire tool line in the first link down in the description box. Thanks, folks. Have a good one, and I'm gonna catch you next time. Cheers.